Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, children of all ages, I am your local sin merchant, your friendly neighborhood sin merchant, the old humble guy. Cheers and salutations. Behind me, you can see my open bay door. Yeah, a little bright out there, but through the parking lot, let's see here, there it is. On the other side of the parking lot, you can see our water tanks. Oh, let's turn that down. You see our water tanks back there? Is that what? Yeah. Can you see those? Right there? Through the open door? Those water tanks right there, that's what stores our water. But that's not what's exciting today. What's exciting, actually, I don't even know if it's exciting, to be quite honest. We're going to be bottling up some whiskey. So I'm going to switch cameras, and right here to my right, your maybe stage left, I'm not sure. We're going to get on with making the whiskey. We're having a little bit of encoding issue, a little bit of lag issue. I'm going to reset that and flip it and go. Got to get these bottles filled up. I got maybe 4 or 5 more cases left in this barrel here off to my right. You'll see it in the next camera shot. Actually, there. That barrel right there, I've got probably 5 or 6 cases of whiskey. It still needs to be bottled up. So that's going to go into bottles. I have the pallet of bottles right behind me. Right here, pallet of bottles. You can't really see them. Right here? Yeah, you can't really see them. You're just going to have to take my word for it. That's where I'm getting my bottles from, and I'm not just conjuring them out of thin air. I am going to cover up my butt crack because y'all don't need to see that. I'll just tuck my shirt in, look at my fat gut instead. And yeah, fill them up, stack them up here, cork them, and get them ready to go. This is the Glengarry Glen Ross corking machine that we have. It is called the Glengarry Glen Ross because it is for closures. That's right. All right, and what do we got going on here? What do we have? This one needs to be muted, I think. Yeah, sorry about that audio, doubling up the audio on there. I think I may have fixed it. Yeah, I think I fixed that audio. Sorry about that. I didn't realize that I had both audio sources on. That won't happen again. And in fact, I have a lapel mic picked out, and that will be gotten soon. Just not right now. Oh, I just saw the postal carrier go by, so I need to remember to get my mail. It's been probably, oh shit, it's probably been 3 months since I got the mail here. I bet that guy hates me. All right, let's get cracking, shall we? Why is this camera still on? Hold on a second. You go there. Okay, so now we just have the one good camera. All right, guys, time to get cracking. So as I talked about, I guess in the last time, it's been a while since I've done one of these. I suppose I could take my keys out of my pocket. Not because of operational safety, but just because I don't like having my keys in my pocket. This is my bottling machine. Fills up 4 bottles of whiskey every 27 seconds. It's nothing fancy, it's nothing flashy. Everything we do, very nearly everything we do, is a manual process. But it is noisy, so fair warning on that. And these first 4 bottles, are always filled with bubbles. So those first 4 bottles get filled up. See that? That is clearing the air out of a line. These first 4 bottles, always filled with air, so we take them and dump them. They will settle, it will clear if I let it sit, but there's no real reason to let it sit when I can just dump it and get going in the same amount of time, or less amount of time actually. Excuse me. All right. And the variability that we can calibrate. Now, tomorrow is going to be very busy. We're going to have a stick. Cheers, Vanessa. Tomorrow we'll have the stage set up. Either, I'm not 100% sure if it's going to be set up on this side of the shop or this side of the shop. I hope it'll be that side of the shop, because that side of the shop is the front. And also, hopefully, while I'm here doing this, the next barrels of whiskey will show up. Yes, Vanessa, I am working today. I'm working every day. I mean, there's not many days I can get through without working a little bit. I try my best. Window beer review. Window beer review. Thomas. Cheers, Thomas. Welcome to a day in the life stream where I basically, literally, it's a day in the life. A lot of what I do, lately at least, a lot of what I've been doing is setting up digital stuff. Can y'all see these? Y'all can't see the finished bottle sitting over here. That's fine. Trust me, they're here. Setting up digital stuff at the home office, doing YouTube SEOs. Let's see, this one's the one that's full now. It was this one that had been full. So what's going on, I'll explain this real quick and then I'll get back to jabbering. What's going on with this is that there's a bubble that kind of floats back and forth in the manifold. So sometimes it'll be the first one that's over full, sometimes it'll be the third one that's over full, sometimes it's the second one that's over full, but there's always, usually, not always, one that's over full by just a little bit. Sometimes the bubble gets kind of annoying and they're all underfilled and I have to tap it a little bit. It's not an exact science. It's a very, very nearly an exact science, but it's not perfect. But yeah, mostly what I've been doing, a lot of the work that I've been doing the last several weeks has been marketing stuff in the home office. Doing paperwork, doing marketing, doing YouTubes. A lot of home office stuff. A lot of it's been YouTubery. But a lot of it also has been our website SEO, planning for this music fest that's coming tomorrow, and the YouTube SEO is basically in support of the events and things that we're working on here at the distillery. For example, starting in April, we're going to have Friday nights live from Old Humble, where we will literally have a band playing right out there, streaming live every Friday night in April, going into May and into June until it gets too hot. If it gets too hot, going into late June or July, and you know these are nighttime shows. So we're talking 6 to 10 p.m. But also those nighttime shows, it could still be hot, especially getting into July. It could still be pretty damn hot here in Houston at 6 o'clock. So I'm not taking anything for granted. We may have to shut those shows down at some point during the summer. That is a real possibility. You know, even if it's just for a few weeks, we may just have to shut those shows down. But I've been working on the SEO and visibility of our channel so that when those shows start up, they won't be playing to an anonymous audience. They'll actually be playing. Hey, Bus Michelle, welcome to the party, man. And I can also say that the work we've been doing on the channel has paid off many times over. It's still early in the stages of monitoring and measuring the results from last month and this month, but we've done some fairly impressive things. Our trivia night last night, a feature of our happy hours that I will be regularly implementing now. Our trivia night was remarkably successful. Instead of just straight up giving away whiskey, I know everybody likes whiskey, right? But instead of straight up giving away whiskey, we're doing Safety Doc challenged me to order his new book. I'll come back to that in a second. Instead of just straight up giving away a bottle of whiskey, we're giving away Boozy bucks, distillery money. So, you know, you got to play a few times and win a couple of times in order to get a bottle of whiskey. But you don't have to get a bottle of whiskey if you want to get literally anything from the shop. You know, you win first place, you get 20 bucks to apply towards anything at the distillery. You can get a hat, you can get a shirt, you can get shot glasses, whatever it is you want, to your heart's content. So there you go. Now, back to Safety Doc here. Safety Doc has made a coloring book so that even lackwits like me can enjoy his writing. Is that right, Doc? You got a coloring book? No, I'm kidding. Safety Doc over there. Go check out his shows on his channel. He is a right clever individual. Most of the time he's thoughtful. I kid. He's never thoughtful. No, he's written a book called The Velocity of Information. It is not about dinosaurs. That would be the velociraptor of information. He has now challenged me to buy his book, order my new book, The Velocity of Information. It launches 3 weeks from today. If I donate it to the Humble Library, I get to ride along in a fire truck during the next parade. We do have Christmas parades in Humble, and I do participate with the Humble Whiskey Club. The Humble Whiskey Club for the parades. And also check this beautiness out. Check this out. These are the medallions for our barrel picks for the Humble Whiskey Club. Look at that shiny deliciousness. Just want to eat it up. So those medallions, I'll get in real close there so you can see it. These medallions go on the bottles. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I don't know if it will lose its focus as I bring it in. These medallions go on the bottles. Can you see that? There it is. The copper medallions, they go on the bottles of our rye. There it is. Good enough. So, anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. I need to work. Stop pulling me away. put my link in chat. Do we not have a mod? Shit, I don't have a mod. Okay, yeah. You can find, I think Nightbot brings it up. Doesn't Nightbot bring it up? Screw Nightbot. Find us at oldhumbledistilling.com. The company store is there, oldhumbledistilling.com. You can find us on our About page. All of our links are there. TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. I'm probably most active on Twitter. I don't think I've posted a talk in I think the term is a coon's age. I may have posted some kind of nonsense recently. I'm not sure. TikTok is not really my focus right now because I'm not pretty enough to be on TikTok. Okay. But yeah, I can order. I'll order the book. It comes out in 3 weeks. I'll keep my eye out for it, Doc. I'll donate it to the library along with some. You know, we're in Texas, so you know they like to ban books down here. I'll donate it with a few bannable books, so it'll be in a whole batch. It'll be in a whole batch of books. They'll have to take them off. Well, there's the subscription link. So here's, speaking of subscriptions, I found some interesting information doing our, doing the happy hours that we've been doing, the trivia night. I'm trying to just collect up a lot of data. So we've done a lot of live streams this past week or so. I've done a lot of shows, posted a lot of content in order to gather up data. We're getting really good impression rates, really good click-through rates, relatively good click-through rates. Just everything's looking good. But here's the curious thing that I found. We get a lot of views from subscribers, and I get a lot of views from non-subscribers. I get about 75% of the views from subscribers, and in keeping with that, about 75% of my watch time comes from subscribers. But I'm not converting new viewers to subscribers, and it's driving me kind of crazy because I'm not getting that conversion of visitors to buyers, I guess. Yeah, I can track in the analytics page. You can track how many returning viewers you have versus how many new viewers, and I can see we get a bunch of returning viewers, but a lot of those guys are subscribers, and we're not converting the new views into subscriptions, and I'm not sure how to do that except to give a straight up incentive to a new viewer. So what we're going to do on our trivia nights is, if you are a new subscriber and you win, then I will double your Boozy Bucks winning for that victory. So if you play and you win, instead of getting $20 for first place, you get 40 Boozy Bucks for first place. And it's just, you know, I guess I can leave it at like a 7-day window if you're a new subscriber within the last 7 days. Vanessa, that is a great question. How many gallons do I do at a batch? This barrel right here is a 48 or so gallon barrel. It's real close to 50 gallons. When I proof my whiskey, which is bring it from barrel proof down to 90 proof, I usually do about 46 or so gallons at a time. I start with 35 gallons of whiskey, and then I add about 13 and a half or so gallons of water to bring that down from 119 or so proof, 119, 120 proof, depending on where it starts at, down to 90 proof. That is So that's about a batch that I go with. But when I'm running the bottling machine out of this tank, I'm filling it at the same time. So I don't so much have an amount that I'm running through as I do time that I'm running through. And usually I will go through between 17 and 22 cases at a time of bottling, which is something close to 50 gallons. Something close to 50 gallons. And my usual limitation at that point is time. If I have a whole crew working with me, we'll knock out 50 cases. In the same amount of time, we'll knock out about 50 cases. Because if I have a whole crew working, we can knock out 20 cases in an hour. It's not even 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that's it. That's the end of the barrel. We are pulling water, or pulling air at this point. I need to readjust the nozzle, the intake nozzle down to the bottom. We are, like I said, sucking air. So what we do at this point is I tip this to the side, put the nozzle right there in the corner. But old Uncle Guy, there's no corners, that's round. And there's a corner at the bottom, it's a flat. And we're literally at the bottom of the barrel. But in this case, the barrel's clean, so we're not pulling in particulate matter and trash and garbage. This is just air bubbles. And like I said at the beginning, this will settle out. But unlike I said at the beginning, there's no way to dump this back and get a fresh batch because there's just not enough in there to get a fresh batch out. But I will fill up these last 4 bottles. I probably have 2 bottles left in there, but I have to fill 4 at a time. Oh, looky there, I'm going to get 4 full bottles out of it. Nice. But I do not have much remaining. Those bottles look like black and tans. They're definitely not beers. But yeah, when I did my first batches of our rye, I went through, I think I did 150 gallons. I did 5 barrels. 7. I did 7 batches, so 350 gallons in the first 3 days of doing this. Half of those are gone already. And that's that. Ain't gonna get much more out of there. Very, very little left. Let's see. Maybe if I... Yeah, no, I'm not gonna get much of anything out of there. So what I'm gonna do with this last little bit remaining is get a funnel and a bottle. If I can find my funnel, what I did with it, which it should be back here, but that doesn't mean it is, because my brain doesn't put things back where it belongs. Haha, it is back here. So I use my funnel, and I'll use a small bucket, 5-gallon bucket that I use for my mixing and blending. I've got those guys. All right. And this has a mesh filter in it so that I can so it'll catch anything big that's coming through there, but there's not going to be anything big coming through there that hasn't already been caught. It's the same filter that's in this thing, a little mesh filter. And then what I'm going to do is pull this out and drain it that way back into the bucket, and with it fully drained and properly drained, take this. See, there's hardly anything left in there. It is all down on the side, down on the bottom. But I'll show you what I brought out in just a second. And these bottles will be my personal stock of whiskey. Actually, Muscle Shell, I prefer people contact me via text, or not text, via instant messaging and DMs, because the only phone number I have right now for the distillery is my cell phone number. But if you contact me in chat, or either or through DMs, through direct messaging, through any of the social networks, I will contact you back. This is how much was left in there. Y'all see that? Very, very little bit. So that will go into, first I'll consolidate these 4 bottles. Should get 1 bottle. Whoops, spilled a little. Should get 1 bottle out of these guys. Hold on, bear with me. Swear to God, I thought I saw something walk right past my door. I did not know. I did not recognize what it was. Turns out there was nothing in there. It was my imagination. So there you go. But this bottle is a completed bottle. It will go into general circulation. Or email me. Shoot me an email. The email is also on our About page. I'm not a hard person to get a hold of. I'm a very easy person to get a hold of. You shoot me an email, shoot me a direct message, tell me who you are. If your name is not the same as your name in YouTube world, just tell me who you are. And I'll be happy to talk about whatever. You want to buy a bottle, you want to talk about some kind of collaboration, we can work some stuff out. All right, this is the trickiest part right here. Going from a 5-gallon bucket. So maybe this will do it. The funnel's too big for the bottle. I used to have a proper funnel here at the shop, but I do not currently have a proper funnel here at the shop. Or if I do, I don't know where it's at. Because I am who I am. There we go. Almost a whole bottle. This goes into my personal stash. So I remove it over to here because it is the last bottle. Yeah, because that's my last bottle that goes into my personal stash. And then we bottle up the good stuff, cork it, seal it, send it on its way. Now I am ready for the next batch. Now, we will be getting a landline for the distillery. In fact, we have a landline number for the distillery. I just don't know what that number is because we don't have a phone actually plugged into the wall. Partly because I am not here enough to justify actually having a phone plugged into the wall. But I spilled all over my beautiful table and I need to fix that. That's not a problem. The next step in this process is sealing the bottles with the heat gun, and then putting the label on the bottles, and then wiping them down and putting them in their box, which we will do next. I have a puddle of alcohol here on this table. There we go. Beautiful. Wipe off as much as I can from my table. How do you like these tables? I built them live on a different day in the live stream. So today, let's see here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 cases, 5 cases. 5 cases, 5 times 12 is 60. A bottle is 1/5 of a gallon, so 12 gallons today. Not much. It was literally the leftovers from the last batch that I did a few days back. If you recall that one. I did 10 cases. Bottled up 10 cases of whiskey. Got to the bottom of roughly the bottom of this barrel. I didn't want to go too far. There we go. I've got on hand 24, so this is 29. I'm working on filling an order of 48, anticipating an order of 48 cases coming. I want to have these bottles ready when that order comes, and that order will likely be coming sometime in the next 4 weeks. Or at least that's the anticipation. It'll be coming sometime in the next 4 weeks. 5 cases plus 1 bottle. Beautiful. All right, this needs to go. I need to clean up real quick. And then on to quality control. All right, get in there. Come on. All right. Now, when that straight whiskey comes in tonight, I'm gonna bottle up probably about the same amount, about 5 cases, to be ready for that music fest tomorrow. If I can get that much done. I don't know if I'll be able to get that much done. I know I'll need to spend a little bit of time, but I'm also going to have to unbarrel, pull it out of the barrels, filter it 3 times. I gotta unbarrel it, proof it, filter it, all the stuff that y'all saw me do back in November for the rye, I've got to do that for the straight system too. So I've got to unbarrel, filter, filter it 3 times, then bottle it. But I'm not going to bottle the full load. I'm just going to bottle up, like I said, probably about 5 cases, about the same amount that I'm doing here. Here's the box. There they are. Box of sugar dicks. So these go over the necks and corks of the bottles. I can move my Glengarry Glen Ross, get him out of the way. Beautiful. So what I do with these is I will go ahead and put the shrink wrap on every bottle. Should probably turn that camera, shouldn't I? Let's go ahead and do that. Bring you over here. Hello, lovely people. Show me what we're looking at. That's perfect right there. That's perfect. All right. So I will put the shrink wrap on all the bottles first, and then come back through and hit them with the heat gun. And I'll do it all at once, so I'm not doing 5 steps for each bottle. I'm doing 1 step for every bottle at a time. I work more efficiently that way. I'm not constantly switching back between tools and between processes. Some people don't. That is their prerogative to not work efficiently like that. Not my problem. Their particular work style is not my particular problem, so I'm not terribly worried about it. These will all get the medallions on them when I finish stamping out the medallions and polishing them up to make them free of tarnish and live longer tarnish free. Get on in there. There we go. But yeah, as far as the trivia nights go, I think that's what I'm going to do, is have like special new subscriber, new day Tuesdays, where all of your points are worth, where new subscribers get a special benefit. And we won't do that, but like once or twice, something just to get the views, the people who view and are visiting to actually subscribe. Most of our market is people who, our market of views. Even when I'm like being a normal person, I talk like a businessman. Our predominant market is subscribers to the channel, and if we can maximize the exposure to subscribers to the channel, leverage our development of existing subscribers into a marketable base of blah blah blah. See, so easily shift into business speak. But truth be told, and this is actually the best part of this exercise with the channel, a lot of the metrics for YouTube and building a YouTube channel are really just marketing metrics. Impressions on your page are the same thing as number of client contacts. Click-through rate is the number of interviews you get as a salesperson. If you're a salesperson, the number of interviews where you actually talk to the customer, talk to the client, and pitch your product. And then there's the watch time, is the amount of time your customer, your client, spends listening to your pitch. And if you can keep them around long enough, then theoretically at least, if you give them if you keep them around long enough and give them a quality reason to stick around, then they become subscribers. You get the conversion rate. What it would be called a sale if you were in auto sales or cell phones or whatever. It would be considered a sale, a successful sale. That's why a cashier is supposed to ask every single individual about, do you want to supersize your meal? Every single one of them. And I'm really, really bad at a lot of things. Not to say, not to toot my own horn, but I'm really bad at a lot of things, kids. I'm really good at making initial contact, but I'm really bad. I'm really good at asking to close the deal with the whiskey. Because there are several ways to close the deal when you're doing sales of whiskey that are far more subtle than the hammer dropped, the hammer dropping. So would you like to buy one today? Car salesmen will use the line, what will it take to get you into our new car today? What will it take for me to close the sale? And, they just come right out and ask, what will it take to close the sale? And you've got to ask for the sale. In the YouTube world, I am really, really bad at remembering to ask people to subscribe. I do it at the beginning, I spit it out and say it as kind of a perfunctory thing that I'm supposed to do, but then I just kind of forget to do it. So, speaking of which, I'm going to say it now. Don't forget to subscribe. I would appreciate it. It really helps the support of the channel, helps us to grow. Blah, 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 blah. And of course, you get notified when we go live, especially when we impromptu lives, like this one. It wasn't exactly planned. In fact, yesterday I was repeatedly saying I'm not going to go live this weekend. We're going to be dark until the music fest, and then we're going to be dark until I come back from vacation. But I lied. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I had that. It's got to be 6s. Can't have 7s. 7s do not make full cases. But we do have one extra bottle. That's just how it's going to have to be. What do we got here in chat? Okay. But as far as another thing, there's the camera over there. Another thing to add, our capacity to distill Vanessa is right here, and it is. Pull the cord over here. Our The camera is struggling to turn around. I'm trying to make it work again. Hold on 1 second. Should have it set up real quick. I'll deactivate it real fast. My nose itches. Then I'll reactivate it. Did that work? Come on, camera. Okay, I'm going to deactivate it and unplug it. Hold on. All right. So what I was going to show you is our full-size stills that we have back here, but I couldn't turn that camera around. And it's being fussy with me now. Because when I turned it around, I lost the video. Well, shit. Hold on, let me check real quick. One more thing. That it can function proper. I'm just gonna. I think I have a loose wire in the camera itself. Because I'm seeing it on the camera. Did it do? Nope. I'm gonna unplug it, and I'm just gonna reset entirely. Give it 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3. Let's go ahead and get you in there. Right there. Come on. Eep. Ah. Ooby. There we go. Beep bop. Badoop. Did that work? Come on now. Why you do me this way on a live stream? I will simply remove the camera then. Then I will re-add the camera. Maybe that'll do. Nope. Canon. And that's only one end on Canon, isn't it? All right, let's go. Oof. Boosh. There it is. Nope. Wrong link. There it is. Now we're back in business. But I need to fit it to the screen. Fit to screen. What are the properties on this Canon camera? Configure video? No. Custom. Resolution. What is the resolution on this camera supposed to be? 1080? Well, it's not supposed to be that high. All right. Well, I guess we're set. Guys, we're back. I got the camera fixed. Anyway, let's see here. I can do that with the, I think I can do it with the, let's see, turn you 90 degrees. If I turn you 90 degrees, over here are my pot stills. Let's cut that camera here. Over here are my pot stills. Both of those are $155 pot stills. So when I distill a batch of whiskey, when I do a full distillation run, I'm distilling 250 gallons at a time. I'll cook the grains, I'll send them to the fermenter, 250 gallons goes to the fermenter, and then it comes back, and when I do the distillation, we're talking about 125 gallons in each pot, a little bit less than that, about 100 gallons in each pot. And then I'll get out of those pots about 10 gallons, between 10 and 15 gallons of alcohol. And the alcohol, the distillate that I pull out is about 150 or so proof, which means the 10 or 15 gallons of alcohol is closer to 75% alcohol by volume gallons of alcohol that I actually pull out.
So there you go. And if I only pull 10 gallons out, I have 13 gallons of alcohol. That's how that math works. And we don't ever get more alcohol out of the run. There's never going to be more than 10 or 15 gallons of alcohol coming out of the run.
The additional volume comes from adding water. That's the only place additional volume comes from. And our audio is whack because of that.
Fix the audio. Thank you. What do I see down there? All right. Time now to shrink seal the bottles. Again, manual process. Shrink seal, set everything up. What this does is it is basically the tamper resistant seal that you get on your whiskey bottles when you buy them. It confirms to you that what we put in the bottle is what is in the bottle when you buy it, that nothing has been added or taken away. It is pristine poison. What just happened to my computer screen? Looked like my screen just flashed me. Big old set of boobies. No, I'm kidding. Get it? Because it flashed. Anyway. There's muscle shell back. So yeah, for trivia nights, there's actually a plugin on Zoom that is a trivia game. I was not expecting that. So we could actually have a live panel of people playing trivia on the Zoom call. Among other games, because Zoom is ostensibly a meeting software intended to do virtually what people hate doing in person, and as a result, hate doing it virtually as well. But in order to make these pointless meetings a little bit less dreadful, though equally pointless, they have included all kinds of widgets and apps and add-ons to Zoom, even the free version of Zoom, like what I have. All these add-ons and silly things, so that your 15-minute meeting can turn into a hour-and-a-half meeting where everybody plays trivia. But my version, at least, allows people to launch the trivia who are not the host of the call. Also, because I made that setting happen. Because I'm the only one who uses the Zoom that I have on my computer, so I can do that. I'm not sure if that means when people launch Zoom, or when they have Zoom on and they do the trivia, that the host knows that people are playing trivia behind their back. I find that to be amusing, because I know in my former life, if it were possible to do that, I would have absolutely done it. I would go to many a meeting and not have my video on my computer. Well, no, I take that back. We didn't have video on our computers when we were doing meetings, because even though we had the capability of having video conferences, all we did was phone conferences, because I was out of the office. I was no longer in that office when the pandemic hit, and we never had any reason to explore the real deep capabilities of our computers. For example, one really awesome functionality of the software that we had on our computers was to be able to link our desk phone to our computer, so when a phone call came in, it could be routed from our desk to our computer to our cell phone while we were at home or remote on the road working, visiting clients and doing the stuff that we had to do as trust officers. But because our manager didn't like us being on the road, preferred us to be in the office where he could see us working, we never got that functionality added to computer. Because he never wanted us to be out of the office if we didn't have to be out of the office. And when we were out of the office, he wanted us back in the office as quickly as we could. So all of the super convenient stuff that made it productive for us to work from wherever, yeah, he made sure that wasn't from other computers. Because he was a terrible. And to be completely fair, I was probably a terrible employee too. But you know, terrible bosses sometimes create terrible employees. Because I know I was a really, really, really good employee there for a really, really, really long time. Until they made it so that good people did not care anymore. And when you make it so that good people don't care, you have done a greater disservice than actually making them hate your company. Because hate and love are not opposites like some people think. Apathy is the opposite of love. And that, my friends, you can take to the bank. It's not hate, it's the opposite of love. Hate and love are two sides of the same coin. Hate and love are opposites to apathy. Oftentimes, hate and love live together. They're very curious bedfellows. They're both a passionate response. But there are plenty of people who hate and love their spouses at the same time. I don't understand it because I love my spouse. She's awesome. But I know that I don't always like her, and she doesn't always like me. So I guess sometimes we can hate each other, but it's not a common occurrence. So this process actually takes probably the longest of all the processes. This one probably takes the longest because each bottle requires a certain amount of time to do what it does. And I think I'm going to go ahead and bottle up the vodka that I need for tomorrow night. I only need probably only need about 10 bottles of vodka. So I'll make 8. I'll make 8. I figure if we run out of vodka, that's fine. People can have whiskey cocktails. Buy the whiskey. I'm not terribly, terribly worried about it. We have vodka specifically for cocktails. I'm not in the business of making and selling vodka. But I do package it for partners and other folks. boxes to deliver this afternoon to UPS. If I don't get them out the door this afternoon, they'll get out the door tomorrow morning. On my way up here to finish setting up. I need to put a couple of fence posts in the ground for my signs on the street. Fence posts in the ground for the signs in the street, and I gotta hang the signs on the doors, above the doors and on the walls. Ow! Hot. I am monitoring chat, so if y'all got questions, drop them. Happy to answer anything you want to see, or anything you want to hear. Breeze. Here's the problem I have with breezes coming through here. When I'm using the heat gun, the cold air affects the ability of the heat gun to consistently heat the plastic. So I can get inconsistent heating on the plastic, which is bad. It's not the worst thing, but it's not great. Another tip that I got for did I do it again? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I did it again. I made rows of 7 instead of rows of 6. Another tip that I got for the channel, which I found to be a very good tip, especially for a live stream channel like mine, was simply to take clips from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take clips from my shows and upload them as shorts. So basically take my entire show, download it, or record it as I make it, which I do. Then take that recording, upload it into a video editing software. Then go through it, find interesting bits, clip out 2 minutes, like I guess last night it could have been any one of the trivia questions. We gave 2 minutes to the question. Or the Unhinged Chronicles that we do, that's a little 30-minute clip I could pull out of there. And then repost the short version of the show. Repost the short version of the show, the clipped version of the show, with the tag for more, watch us on Thursday nights. Ultimately, I want to get that Thursday night show's audience up from the average of around 30 or so up to about 100 or so. But in order to do that, based on the analytics that I currently have on my channel, I need to get about 3 times as many subscribers to get the viewership on my live show up. Otherwise, I need to do it 3 times as many times, or change the analytics, which is also a possibility. Changing the analytics being getting more either subscribers to watch or non-subscribers to watch and converting them to subscribers. Change the analytics. This is what happens when a breeze comes through. It screws with the melting ratio, or the melting rate becomes an inconsistent sealing process. But it feels so good. Oh, those breezes, they're cool, they're comfortable. I mean, I could close it. I could close the doors and cut off that breeze, but they're not burping here. I run hot. I thought I had the bright idea. When I had the bright idea of doing more shows, I thought what would end up happening is that it would expose me to a broader audience and I would get more people joining in. But what ended up happening was, or what is happening so far it seems, is I'm just getting more exposure to the audience that I already have. I'm giving you lovely people more of what you want. Me and Lisa, mostly Lisa. Who am I kidding? It's entirely Lisa. All right. I need to label up bottles. Let's do it. All right, where are we at? So I want y'all to be able to see what it is that I'm doing, but I usually go from this side to this side, or do I go this way? I usually go this direction. All right, so we're going to be very careful when I move the camera. Go dark on me? I did not. Hooray. All right. Let me adjust here. Well, you're just going to have to be satisfied with looking at my crotch. Because if you want to see the bottling, you're gonna have to look at my crotch, because that's just where the bottlers are. Sorry. Hi. All right, so this is the back label machine. This is the front label machine. There's nothing inherently special about this machine that makes it the front labeler and this machine that makes it the back labeler. The only thing that makes this one the front and this one the back is this one has the front labels on it, this one has the back labels on it. I could literally switch those labels from one machine to the other, and then the front labeler becomes the back labeler and the back labeler becomes the front labeler. That's how it works. These machines are identical otherwise. So, what we do, this is how we do it, baby. La 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 la. This is how we do it. All right, so I'm monitoring chat as we go along. I see the screen right over here. Camera's right here. Chat's right here in front of me. The only thing I need is a phone call from my delivery agent who is bringing me some whiskey today. What the hell is that? What? I see that in my hand? See that? I think it's pieces of wood. Pretty sure it's pieces of wood. The bottles are kind of filthy. Only a little bit dirty though. The way I like my women. Kidding, it's a joke. Don't at me. A little bit dirty. And that's that. Just like that. Easy as that. Boom. Front, back. Boopity. Now I'll work my way over here. I'll need 5 rows of space here. But because each one of these rows is 7 deep, every 2 rows will make 1 row here, 2 rows, 1 row. So I'll move this way faster than I'll move that way. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead and move the camera one more time. If I can. If I can, because I'm going to be moving in this direction. Did it go dark? No, good. Okay, good. So far, so good. All right, and what I want to do, I think, is lower the camera down ever so gently. And then raise the angle up ever so slightly. And then turn these away so that we can look at the actual machines as they're labeling. Now I know, I realize, I understand that it would be better if I had a video camera over my shoulder so y'all could see over my shoulder the angle from above as I put these labels on. I understand that. It would also be awesome if candy didn't make us fat. Sometimes we just don't get what we want. So I don't have a camera that I can put over my shoulder and show y'all what I'm doing from my POV. I just have what I have. So, there. Maybe I can put the finished bottle right here. Alright, I've got a finished bottle I can put right there. There we go. Plus I have 1 extra bottle, so that works out really good. The 1 extra bottle goes right there. Alright. So what should we talk about today? Last time I did one of these, or not the last time, in January when I was building the table, I turned on the radio and was playing a radio station in the background, and my stream got taken off. The live stream got taken down because of copyright infringements, because of music that I was playing on the goddamn radio. And it was great music too, so I can't play the radio in the background apparently. Now, if anybody wants to spring for a GoPro that would be wireless, that I could put like on over my shoulder, email me and I'll send you my PayPal and Venmo information. I'll be happy to go with you on a camera. But unfortunately, I'm not pretty enough for people to just give me money for being. And you know, I say that mostly in jest. I don't want to denigrate pretty streamers. They do the Lord's work. And you can't be, well, you can't be an overall successful streamer without doing the homework and work to build a stream and an audience and a following and all that stuff. But there's no question in my mind that some people get basically fronted 10,000 followers just because they have a well-filled shirt. They have a well-appointed wardrobe, I guess, that has remarkable features. And that's not to say they got to do the work. They don't have to do the work to keep those viewers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They do. You got to do the work to keep the viewers. You can't take it for granted. There's plenty of streamers who have done that, where they had millions of followers and they just took the views for granted, and they got sloppy and lazy with their streams and did not put the work in to keep the streams active and live, and they still have the followers, they just don't have the relevance that they would have if they had done the work. And that is something that I've learned in my process of my quest for 100,000 views, my process of improving my channel. It has been, it's work. It's a lot of damn work. I mean, especially if you make pre-recorded content, you got to edit that shit. I mean, live is a slightly easier process because you don't have to edit. You record the show, you're done. The show is done in the amount of time that it takes to make the show. That's it, you're finished. Now, there is one part of the project that I'm going to have to embrace in the next 4 weeks if I want to take it up to the next level and do the clips like I was talking about earlier. If I'm going to do that, I have to add a chore to my weekly list of things to do, which is watch my live streams after the fact, which I don't do. Shock there, right? Y'all have seen the streams. Y'all know what they look like. But, you know, go through, watch them, take notes on what I can do better, where I get bored, where I lose interest. Because if I'm getting bored and I'm losing interest in my own stream, of course I've already seen it once, then, you know, what about everybody else? I mean, you know, who have absolutely nothing invested. How do I either eliminate and maybe actually editing them out and reposting the show from a 2-hour show to a 30-minute show is entirely possible. But how do I get rid of them? How do I get rid of the quiet lulls, the dead spots, the points where that I find to be uninteresting? Because they exist. I mean, I'm not, much to the surprise of most of you out there. I know. I am not perfect. I know, right? it comes as much of a shock to me as it does to you. I am not inherently perfect. I have to work at this perfection. It's not innate. So when I do shows, inevitably mistakes happen. And I know where a lot of the mistakes are. You know, last night at the beginning, every time Lisa talked, there was audio difficulty coming across her feed from Zoom. So there's something going on with my video feed from Zoom, or with my audio feed from Zoom on her side of the broadcast. And I don't, because it wasn't coming from my side. And there might be something I can do on Zoom to, I mean, maybe it was the audio coming from Zoom to OBS that was getting weird, because usually it was stable, but then it would hit points where I couldn't understand a damn thing she was saying. And not just because she has a big brain and says words that I don't understand. Sometimes she does that. But this was like just garbledy gibberish. So yeah, that's going to necessitate doing fewer shows, obviously. Because I just don't have an extra 10 hours a week to watch 10 hours worth of shows. If I do 5 shows a week at 2 hours a show, I don't have time to watch that shit. Neighbors here. But maybe I don't have to watch all of them. Maybe I could get away with just watching some of the shows and kind of getting an idea, a pattern of the show, and just, you know, repeating the pattern like they do for real late night entertainment, like you know, Conan and Fallon and those guys. Letterman, because I'm an old fucker. Letterman and Leno and Carson, Jonathan Carson with his sidekick Ed McMahon. Oh! Is he still alive? Y'all know if Ed McMahon's still alive? I don't think he is. I think he's dead. I think he's been dead since like 2016, if I recall. I'm pretty sure Johnny Carson's dead too. But I don't know. I don't follow celebrities' lives and deaths. Celebrity life and death info. That's not my hobby. I rely on other people for that information. Maybe I'll do a subscribe-a-thon event where every time we get a new subscriber, their name goes into a hat. Then every hour we draw a name. Or every time we get 10 subscribers, we draw a name, and that subscriber gets, or Boozy Buck giveaway for new subscribers. Do like a subscribe-a-thon. I'll just go live here at the distillery. Maybe a work day when I'm actually distilling. You get new subscribers. The name goes in a pot every hour. Pull a name. Get a Boozy Buck giveaway. The earlier you get in, the more chances you get, because the names don't come out unless you win. $20 Boozy Buck giveaway every hour. So what is Boozy Bucks, you ask? That's a good question. Thanks for asking. Let me tell you, it's like a gift certificate. It is like a gift certificate. It is a non-fungible, non-transferable currency that is good in the company store of the Old Humble Distilling Company. So you get $20. It's as good as 20 real live dollars, just like a gift certificate. How do we get a job? How do we get a job? Hold on 1 second. I gotta shut this door. I'm cold. Whew. It's chilly. Of course, I'm wearing thin damn t-shirt. And it actually occurs to me that I'm wearing the same shirt that I was wearing yesterday. It was just the first thing I grabbed. Oh well. You can hear this place echo now that I closed the doors. Echo! See, we got a little echo in here now that I actually closed the doors. How do you get a job? Well, Muscle Shell, the way you get a job here, it's kind of backwards. I don't have any money, so I can't pay you. But it's like one of those marketing schemes where you like pay me $5,000 and then I'll let you work for me for free for like a year. And then eventually then I can start paying you back. But no, for real. We have special events, specific events for which we hire. Usually it's a gig, one-off type of thing where we're doing tastings and I need somebody to do tastings. I've got people coming tomorrow for the music fest. I have people coming tomorrow for the music fest to be bartenders. What happened? What did Vanessa do? Did I miss something? I gotta scroll back up. Oh, you're buying a copy on April 1st. That's good. Can we buy reserved copies? Can we buy advanced copies, Safety Doc? I was not aware that we could do that, because if I can buy an advanced copy, I'll go on and get one now. Or later on tonight when I get home. I don't have any problem with that. And we could do a book club night where we talk about the book. I'll sit down and read it. I won't read it live on the air because that'd be boring, me just sitting there with a book, staring at it. Full disclosure, when I read, I tend to fall asleep. I used to not. I used to be able to, but I used to sit there, I'd read 25, 30 books a year. Which doesn't sound like a lot when you say it out loud, but that's a lot of fucking books. 2 or 3 books a month? It's a lot of books. But when I start reading now, I'm so busy all the time and I'm always concentrating on something or thinking about something or planning on something or doing something. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Always doing something. Something's always going on. My brain's always running. When I stop and I sit down and I read, that's when I start to like fully relax for the first time, and I start to shut down and I fall asleep within the first 2 or 3 pages, and I'll take a 30-minute nap and I'll get up and I'll start reading some more. That's kind of how I roll now. I used to not be that way. I'd sit down, I'd read like all the time. I'd read at breakfast, I'd read before bed, I'd read on the toilet, I'd read at my desk at the office. When I needed to take a break from work, I'd pull out a book and read. I've got old reading lists that are, like I said, 25, 30 books in a year. And I find myself now, these days at least, going back to books that I'd read before and rereading them 3, 4 times. I don't think I picked up a book that I haven't read before in months. So this will be a nice treat. Actually getting a book that I haven't read before. I have another book here, in fact, that was written by an old colleague, a client, as a matter of fact, who may be selling his business and may be interested in selling his business to me. If the price is right, I might even buy that business from him. But he wrote a book. He's a funeral director. And I have ideas for books based in the funeral industry, which I think would be a fun, if not a book, it'd be a really cool movie. There's something on that. It'd make a really cool movie where, okay, so they do these things in the nonprofit world. They do these things called endowment gifts, legacy gifts, where you include a nonprofit or your church in your will. So when you die, a portion of your estate goes to your pet nonprofit that you love so much. Whoops. That's the first mistake I've made, or second mistake I've made for a label. The first one that didn't come out properly. So when you die, part of your estate goes to the nonprofit, whether it's hard assets or cash assets, or cash value of the hard asset, because the nonprofit just turns around and sells it because, you know, they don't have any need for your chalet in Naples or wherever the hell it is. But usually it's stock portfolios and stuff like that, and it goes into the endowment usually goes into the nonprofit's endowment, but it can be actual cash money. So anyway, the original idea for the movie or the book was this director for a nonprofit had a very successful campaign to add legacy gifts for the nonprofit. They did this big campaign, and then people contributed to the campaign, and there were many millions of dollars pledged to the company from people's estates. And then there was a scandal in the company, and the textile company or whatever, it's a relatively small town that the place is based in. Textile company crashes the economy in this town because the textile company goes out of business because of the scandal, not unlike Enron, but rather than Enron being in Houston, which, by the way, fucked the entire industry and the national industry for oil, for gas, rather, trading. But, I mean, this was specifically that small town. So the nonprofit goes into crisis mode, and the development director says, well, we have this font, we have this well, we have a well of cash sitting over there, and all we need is for some of these people who are already old, mind you, we just need some of these people to start dying. So he arranges an accident for one of these older people. You know, they're somebody who's like already in their advanced age in the hospital. He just arranges to make sure that they don't leave the hospital. And that's where it starts. The nonprofit gets like $1 million in the grant money that had been promised from this person's estate. And the development director says, you know, this is a great way to make some money for the company. So he goes around and he starts. If at first it starts off fairly innocently, where, you know, they're already sick, they go into the hospital, and he just makes sure they don't come out. You know, a little pulling the plug action, a pinch in the oxygen line, stuff like that. But then it starts to steadily escalate. It starts to escalate and get worse and worse and worse. So eventually he's not just taking people out who are in the hospital. He's like going over to their house and poisoning their food. And then he's just, it starts to escalate from there until eventually he's like driving people off of the road and like actively committing murder, as opposed to just, ushering in the natural events. He's like actively killing people off for his nonprofit, which makes it a fun story, kind of complicated, where like the bad guy is doing objectionably bad things, objectively and objectionably bad things, but he's doing it for a good reason. His heart's in the right place, And he starts off doing what he thinks is the right thing, but then he realizes he's doing things that are quite evil. So that was the original idea for the story. But wait, it gets better. After I left that nonprofit, I go to work in the funeral industry. And in the funeral industry, they don't have legacy gifts for endowments. They have pre-need contracts for funerals and cemeteries. So you end up having what's known as a pre-need contract that you have paid for your funeral ahead of time, and the funeral home doesn't get any money out of that contract until you die. That's how that works. There's no two ways around it. They don't get their money unless you die. And that is the job that I had as a funeral trust officer, was to make sure that they did not get their money, that the funeral directors were not getting that money. I'm back here now making some vodka happen. Yeah, that's fine. All I'm doing is filling up the bottles. Nothing fancy. Anyway, so of course, it starts off with funeral directors having a tough time, need to raise some money, and that's coupled with a tragedy that happens in the town where some body once told me, where some folks were going to a, casino or something like that, some old folks' activity, and the bus crashes. Tragedy, like I said. But this funeral director, on the basis of this tragedy alone, makes like $65,000 in a month. And we don't like to talk about it, but that's how funeral directors make their money. They make their money when people die. It's a fact of the industry. It's how it works. And if a lot of people die all at once, a funeral director makes a lot of money. Usually it's 2 or 3 funeral homes. It's not always at the same place. But this just happened in this particular book that I'm writing or thinking of. Happened to all be at the same place at the same time. All right, we have vodka. So I've lucked out that I actually have vodka, but I didn't need to run it through the filter because it's already been filtered like 6 times. It was going to be bottled up, but we ran out of bottles for the last bottling run. So it is our very own unlabeled vodka. We don't sell it. It is only used for cocktails here at the distillery. And interestingly enough, vodka and whiskey look identical coming out of the still. It looks like water, but it is definitely not water. Not even a little bit water. Anyway, so it starts off with the funeral director. He has this epiphany that he's making all this money off of this tragedy. So then he says, what if we could make this tragedy happen more often? And of course, everybody's properly horrified. Like, why would you do that? This was a tragedy. He's like, no, hear me out. We just made $65,000. And these people are already old. All the justifications and stuff of what an evil person would do for an evil... Are we done working? Am I done working? I think I'm finished working. Yeah, I'm done working. Well, I guess I need to box this stuff up. My boxes are right over here. Give me 1 second. So, he has all the justifications and all that stuff. And maybe we take the route, we go the path that the funeral director decides it's just too heinous a plan. He can't do it. No way he's going to do it. That's just wrong. 2, 3, 4, 5. But one of his business partners likes the idea so much that his business partner goes and hires a hitman. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The business partner hires the hitman, and the hitman goes into town, literally gets a list of clients off of the trust, out of the trust documents, gets a list of clients for the funeral director, and then he goes and starts picking them off one by one. Old man Carruthers. Pop! Mitchell, down at the safety squeeze. Pop! Just starts picking the people off one by one. And when the funeral director hears about this, of course, the funeral director's fucking livid. As he should be. Because that could be terrible for his reputation. It's terrible for the town. People are dying. This is a human tragedy. We couldn't have this. We can't have this. Right? Of course we can't have this. So he calls the hitman and he says, well, first he calls his partner. And he tells his partner, like, this has got to stop. You call off your hitman. Dude calls the hitman. The hitman says, dude, you paid me. I'm doing this. Because the hitman's kind of crazy too, I suppose. We could go that route, whatever. Then the funeral director goes, the hitman says, you know what? You paid me, I'm doing it anyway. The funeral director says, don't you dare, we're stopping payment, calling the cops, whatever. And then the hitman says, if you do anything, I'm coming after your family. And the funeral director goes, well, I guess I'm just going to have to take it into my own hands. And then we find out that the funeral director is former Navy SEAL or Army Ranger, former Special Ops, Special Forces, and he's a trained killer. Bum, bum, bum. So the funeral director straps up, and now he's on the war path. Stone cold killer, or hot under the collar, or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what you call it, because I can't. I mean, that's not my job. Naming the movie's not my job. Coming up with the movie's my job. But there you go, Safety Doc. If you want to write that novel with me, be my ghostwriter, I'll give you the story. We'll sit down over a couple of drinks and we'll write that up. Sit down over a few drinks. We'll write that story up. I'll get you a synopsis. We can write it up. bust out a bestseller. What do you say? Safety doc, you want to write a bestseller with me? All about a deranged hitman and a funeral director. That's better. Gotta make sure they're pretty before they go into the bottles or into the boxes. Gotta be able to see the bottle there. What time is it? Is it 2 o'clock? 3 o'clock? 2 o'clock? 1:30? 3:50. It's almost 4 o'clock. Shit, the delivery guy needs to get his ass here. Kids would be getting home from school, if not already, shortly. Whole day's gone by. I haven't heard from the organizer of the event that we're having tomorrow. In fact, I'm going to text him and his dad, find out. Oh. Interesting. All right. Send a text to Tim and Lucas. All right, maybe I'll get some information from Lucas since he's still not responding to texts or anything. All right. I'm not sealing up these last few cases because I'm hoping we'll actually get into them tomorrow. Maybe. If we seal them up, then I'm just going to have to crack them open if we do get into them. Spilled my drink. So it's extremely frustrating. We're doing this. We're doing this music festival, mini music festival. It'll be streamed on our channel. You'll see it. It's going to be. I expect it'll be a good show. I expect it's going to be a good time. I just don't have any information at all on this show, on this good time that we are hosting here at the shop. All right. So it's extremely frustrating, despite repeated requests and repeated requests and repeated requests for any information about what's happening tomorrow. I've received almost none. Until yesterday when I finally called this dude's dad to ask for some info. He may not have my email, but he's never asked for it. My frustration is beginning to boil over. Because it's not getting better as far as the information being delivered. It's not getting better. It's still the same. I have an idea of how many people are coming. Should have something like 100 people over the course of the day, which is a really good day. A really good day. If we get 100 people here, and that means like probably 100 cocktails. That'd be good. Hopefully more than that. Hopefully people will buy 2 or 3. Half of the people buy 2 or 3. That'd be 100 to 150 cocktails. $7 a piece. Oh, that reminds me. I've got to go to the store and get a... I've got to go get a... old-fashioned mix. I'm going to lose daylight here soon, which means I've got to get up here in the morning to get the stuff done that I need to get done, such as, and including the such as, shout out to Miss South Carolina. Can y'all see over here? Yeah, you can still see. I don't remember what I was saying. No, I gotta hang my signs, hang my banners up over the up over my doors. I gotta put my banners out in the front yard, front entrance to Continental Parkway, and back entrance to Continental Parkway. And you make sure people know what road to turn on. Because if they don't know what road to turn on, I'm going to get 1,000 phone calls tomorrow. I can't find the place. Where is this place at? All I see is a deserted road. Yep, that's the one. You see that building on the deserted road where all the people are? That's the one. Do a video. Go live stream from Facebook. Show people on the Facebook page. Put it up on the YouTube page. Do people even visit web pages anymore? I mean, really? Is that a thing? I guess it probably is. I go to web pages. I'm an old guy. I'll go check out your webpage. I'm curious if I'm checking to see if you're a legitimate business. I'll go check it out. I need to look up something real quick. Motherfucking D-O-double-G. Dog. Na da 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 da. It's the motherfucking D-O-double-G. Podcast is lighting me up. What the hell? Business activity report. Business activity report. 4, 5. Business activity report. 6, 7. Jesus Christ, Comcast. Get your shit together. Yeah. No information from the carrier. So it's just us, boys and girls. Oops. And it is 4 o'clock. Da 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 da. It's the motherfucking D-O-double-G. Neat dog. Da 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 da. How long have I been going? Where are we at? A little over 2 hours. It has taken me a little over 2 hours to bottle, seal, label, and box 5 cases. And it takes me about 4 hours to do 10 cases. So that tracks. That tracks. It takes about 4 hours to do the full 4 cases, or 10 cases. And in a given day of work, a full day's work, I, by myself, can do 20. And usually what I do in a day's work is I will fill the bottles and put them on the table, and then I'll come back the next day. I'll fill them and cork them in 4 hours, give or take. And then what I'll do, after I fill them and cork them, there we go. After I fill them and cork them, I'll come back the next day and I'll seal them up and then label them up. I'll do all that stuff. The event organizer will be here tomorrow so that I can yell at him in person for being unresponsive and uncommunicative about this event. I mean, he sends an email to the vendors to tell them what to do, but he doesn't bother to tell me what he's telling them to do so that I could add any instruction that needs to be given. You would think the venue hosting would be included in on that stuff. You would think. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just silly, thinking I deserve information. Ah, that is beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. This is probably the most satisfying part when it's a finished product going into the box, getting ready to get shipped. It's probably the most satisfying part because I can look at the inventory that I'm putting together. Of course, you can calculate, you can tally in your head. Like the work that I just did is worth such and such dollars. That's fine. But really, I like looking at these boxes. The whiskey in the box, the finished product when I hold it up to the light and I can see what's in my bottle. That is a very satisfying feeling. To be able to look at that and say, I made that. That was my creation. I brought this into the world. That is mine. Somebody else is going to bring that into their home. Somebody else is going to consume this liquor, and they're going to look at that, and they're going to see it, and they're going to think, damn, that's good. And I made that. They're going to drink my liquor, and they're going to like it because it's delicious. That is a satisfying feeling. That, my friends, is a job well done. Now the work is done. All right, kids. We're going to wrap this up for the day. because I've got other stuff to do that needs to be done outside the shop. My bar is set up, or my bar is provided for. I've got some ginger ale. I've got the ginger ale. I've got the whiskey. The only thing I don't have is the straight whiskey that was supposed to come here today. I may be back later doing another run with the filter, but there's a lot of work involved with that. This can be like a 6-hour job. So, I'm gonna sign off, and I'll see you tomorrow for the Music Fest, guys. Get in on the Music Fest tomorrow. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be Kimbro's. Let me get the link to that so y'all can see it. There it is. Share, copy link. Come back here. Here's the link to the show tomorrow. If you can't make it to the distillery, you want to click on that, get the notification, get the reminder. Why am I doing it this way? There it is. Where is the host? All right. Okay, I'm back. So, there we go. So that's the link to the show right there. It's going to be a humdinger. They're going to have 15 bands. It's going to be amazing. And, I don't, like I was saying before, I don't have a lot of the details of how the logistics going to go, but these guys have put on shows before. I trust him to put on a good show. He's done it before. He does regular shows. He's a show promoter, a show organizer. I fully expect them to do a good job. I'm just anxious because I don't have any information about what this job is going to look like, how this job is going to go, how it's going to flow. I've got my plans, but I don't know if my plans work in conjunction with their plans. I don't know if I have to change my plans based on what their plans are. I just don't know. And that's kind of frustrating because I'm kind of a control freak. I try not to be very much of a control freak, but I kind of am one. I'm okay with not being in control just so long I know what the program is that I'm not in control of and who's running things and you know, that they're doing their job and everything's cool. As long as we know, as long as everybody's on the same page, I'm good. And I just want to make sure I'm on the same page with these guys and let them do their job and let them run their business. And I am certain that it's going to be a great show. Absolutely certain of it. I'm certain that we're going to sell some great whiskey and some great cocktails. I am certain that everything is going to be pulled off smoothly. Well, I'm certain that everything is going to be pulled off. I don't know how smooth it's going to be, but I know it's going to be a great show. So there you go, guys. I appreciate y'all joining me for this afternoon's stream. I truly do, and I look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow, and not next week, but the week after. Cheers, and bye.